Welcome back, Generals, to another Let's Fix Generals 0 hour to make the best game ever. Good, so last session we did merge a bunch of changes and we made a fix here for one crash. When we launched the game, and it was a wrong resolution. Right. Okay, so prevent force changing. Let's see, what do we do here? Yeah. I would say this change can be a separate branch as is, I think. We don't need to merge this change with the other one, no. Matches selection, matches display. Matches selection or matches display. What I don't like about this implementation here is what if we have one entry that matches a selection and one other entry that matches the current display? Then it is whatever comes later in the list wins the race, right? What should take precedence here? What should take precedence? The value from the options ini file or the actual display resolution? What is more important here? I would say it's the current actual display resolution, right? Yeah. I would say the display resolution that's more important. Yeah. How about we say? How about we have selected res index and actual display res index. Okay. Then we say here We put this again here, this, and then we make a copy of this. Then we say if that is the case, then I put the display res, yeah. And then we say, if display res index, if display res index is not -1, display res well, if display res index is larger equals 0, then selected res index equals that. Let me add an info here. Super hackers add tweak. Today's 12/06/2025. Now also now also tries to find, make a selection tries to make a selection from the display resolution in case the resolution from the options, in case the resolution from the options.ini does not match the resolution, does not match the options, does not match. Okay, so resolution option does resolution read from the options, and it does not match the current display resolution. Option preferences. Yeah, I think that works. And this way, the display resolution always takes precedence. Yeah. The display resolution selection takes priority. Okay, we should be able to test this. We put a breakpoint in here. Let's put a breakpoint here and here. Let's put it here. So I think if we go to documents, generals data, options, there we go. Okay, so So display resolution index is -1, and the selected res index is also -1. Fair enough. So it adds this one. Yeah. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Now, if we select this guy and we click on back here, now we should have the same index on. We should de-optimize this bullshit. Yeah, let me de-optimize it. Okay, so we have this resolution. Now we go to the options menu, and the options menu we set this resolution again, right? Now what should happen is, if we click on here, then the display res index is 1, yeah, that's the resolution we have selected. But the selected res index is -1 because we have not found this custom resolution in that list. And then what should happen is it should now select still this resolution. Yeah, perfect. And if we now went to the options and we set here 800 by 600, yeah, then still the current display resolution should win. Right? This resolution should stay the next time we open it. So the selected res index is 0 for 800 by 600, and the display res index is 1 for the 1024. And so it now writes this guy here. The selected res index is 1. Perfect. Yeah. I think that's good. That's good. Which begs the question, why do we need okay, what happens? So we could have a resolution. Yeah. But this means that doesn't this mean that this resolution is now obsolete here? This one? This here? Let me think about that. Is there a scenario where we wouldn't select Is there a scenario where we wouldn't select the a resolution that is not the display resolution? I don't think so, because if the display resolution effectively, this means we always have a resolution selected that is a display resolution. We never select what is actually in the options.ini. We still write it to the options.ini so that it's restored, but we don't actually use that. And I wonder if this here makes sense then. Selected res index. Yeah, so what if we simplify this to, we remove this and we move this and we say the selected res index is simply what the display resolution is, right? Right. Yeah. how about we do unsigned int display w display age. Could probably do that. Yeah, I think this makes sense. Now it tries to make a selection with a display. Instead of the saved option. With the active display resolution instead of the saved option. Okay, so resolution. Now it tries to make a selection with the active display resolution instead of the resolution read from the option preferences in case it does not match the current display resolution. Now it makes a selection with the active display resolution instead of the that way. That way, wrong resolutions. That way. Wrong resolutions. Not from there. Because the actual display resolution is most relevant. Is most relevant to make a selection with. Yeah. Okay, I think this should work now exactly the same. Effectively, we don't need to use we only need to save the resolution because we want to restore the next time we load the game. That's it. That's all that is. Otherwise, we don't need it. On runtime, we don't need to load back the resolution from the options in it. We don't care because we have the display resolution, the current one. That's the only thing that matters. Yeah. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, so options. So we have 800 by 600. Yeah. Now we set it to this number. Yeah. And now we set it back to, let's put 1600 by 1200. Yeah. And actually, hold on. Let me change it like so. And then here we write it to 800 times 600. Yeah. And it still has this selected. Yeah. Exit game. Now, when we exit game and we restart the game now it should actually launch with 800 by 600 because that's what we have written in our options in it, right? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, fantastic. Okay, then we can do that. Then we can delete this here, and we delete that. Okay, now makes a selection with the active display resolution instead of the resolution read from the option preference, because the active display resolution is the most relevant to make a selection with. We can also remove this here again. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. Good. Now the next question is, should we have this as a separate change? Can probably go together, right? Yeah. Okay, cool. Then let me go to W3D display. W3D display. Actually, how about we start merging here? So, I want to merge that and that and that. So, prevent crashing. Okay, so let's see. Mm-hmm. 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 Okay. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Confirm squash and merge. There we go. Mm-hmm. Next. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Now on this change, I wonder if we should update this comment here. I'm not 100% happy with it. Let me stash this. Okay, so we delete this one. Okay, and then we options menu. Okay, so yeah, yeah. In the option preferences. This avoids force changing the resolution when the user has set a custom resolution in the option preferences. Custom resolution in the option preferences. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm writing option preferences because that's a name that is visible here. Here, this one, which is right now shown as an error here. Option preferences. That's a class name. That's why I would like to do this. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Tweak comments. Mm-hmm. We maybe also need to rebase it. Maybe not. Let me see. No, we don't need to rebase it. Good. Then we wait for that to build. In the meantime, we will create a new branch. /pop. Okay, that has failed. Yes. Okay. So we create a new branch based on this one, and we say fix fix resolution crash. Resolution fix wrong resolution crash. Unsupported. Fix unsupported resolution crash. Actually, no, it's current instead of defaulting. Is it really a tweak? It is not a tweak. It is a fix. It's probably even a bug fix. Wait, yeah, it's even marked as bug here. Yeah, hold on. Let me stash again. Let's say this is actually a bug fix. Yeah, so now it's a current resolution instead of defaulting to 800 by 600. This avoids force changing the resolution when the user has set a custom resolution in the option preferences. Yeah. Update keywords. Keyword comments. Comment keywords. Okay, let's hope that this is correct now. Good, let's create the new branch. Okay, good. Now, is this a tweak or is this a fix? It is a fix because it would not work correctly before. If you had the game running, you would modify the options.ini as you would. So you have the game running, you modify the options.ini, and then you open the options menu, and then it wouldn't have the correct entry selected. Yeah, yeah. Because it would take the resolution from the options instead of the display. Yeah, that's the issue. Right. So is that a bug fix or a fix? I mean, it is a, strictly speaking, it is a bug. Is it really on the user path? Not really. It's is it? It's a very niche bug. Yeah, it's a very niche bug. It's more obvious now. So I would say to make a selection, because and the saved resolution, because the option preferences could be wrong. I mean, so either we say it's a fix or a bug fix. I would say most users will never run into this issue. I would say it's a fix because it's so unlikely that a user runs into this. This one is more likely. Yeah, this one is much more likely to run into. This one is so niche. It's still a fix, but it's so niche. Yeah, so I would just mark it as a fix. That's good enough. Okay. Good. Then let's clean up the code here. This function. Okay, I think we just need to delete this garbage here, and then we should be good to go, right? Yeah. This makes text look good. Okay, thanks. Much appreciated. Good. So, okay, then how about here we should probably also say, is this a bug fix? I would say this is a fix. Or should this be a bug fix? how likely is it the user runs into it? So the user sets a correct resolution in the options ini either by mistake or he thinks he can set it, but the game doesn't work with it for some reason. Yeah, and then it would crash. Yeah, I think we can say bug fix. Try a small default resolution if the previous one did not succeed. This could happen. This is unlikely to happen, but is possible. This is unlikely to happen, but is possible if the user writes an unsupported resolution into his options.ini. Into writes, uses, adds an unsupported resolution to the option preferences. Try a small default resolution if the previous one did not succeed. Now tries a small default resolution if the previous one did not succeed. Now tries a should be working. Let's call it a safe. Now tries a safe default resolution if the previous one did not succeed. This is unlikely to happen, but is possible if the user adds an unsupported resolution into the, if the user writes an unsupported resolution into the option preferences file. Yeah, I think this works. Okay. Into the option preferences. Okay, I think this works. Okay. Then Good. Let me merge that. Okay. Gen. How do we describe this? Fix game launch crash fix crash when launching the game with an unsupported display resolution. There we go. Resolution. Fix crash when launching the game with an unsupported display resolution. Yeah, that works. Fix crash when launching the game with an unsupported display resolution. I wonder if we should have this separate then. Fix crash. I think we should make this a separate change to properly describe it. Yeah, it should be separate. Okay, fix crash when launching the game with an unsupported display resolution. Yeah. This should be actually a different branch. We should, have a different branch for this. Okay. Then instead, we should merge the options menu change here, and then we describe as prevent duplicates. Prevent fix wrong fix wrong display resolution. Fix wrong display resolution selection in the fix wrong default. Fix wrong display resolution. Fix wrong display resolution selection in the options menu when the saved option does not match the active display resolution. Fix wrong display resolution. Fix incorrect display resolution selection in the options menu when the saved option does not match the active display resolution. Fix incorrect display. fix incorrect selection in the resolution combo box in the fix incorrect selection in the resolution combo box of the main menu when the saved resolution does not match the active display resolution. Fix incorrect selection in the resolution combo box of the options menu when the saved resolution does not match the active display resolution. Yeah. Yeah, I think we can do that, yeah. Okay. Okay. Then we go to main branch. And we create a new branch. Call this a fix. Hold on. Fix unsupported resolution crash. Okay, so okay, so this one we have, so this one I can also replicate, I think. Yeah. Okay. Okay, there was a problem. Right. Directory md place. Okay, hold on. There we go. Replicates in 0 hour. Let's call it generals md. Okay. Okay, so this one is still building, or yeah, still in progress. I would take a few more minutes. Okay, so while this is building, we also take this guy, this one, and we rename it to Relaxing PlayStation 1 music. I'm hyped for this. Let's hear this. PlayStation 1 music. I did play a lot of PlayStation 1 games in the past when I was a kid. Yeah. It was a great time. The good old PlayStation 1. Ugly graphics, but didn't matter. It was always fun. Okay, that music actually sucks. Ridge Racer. Type 4. I did play Gran Turismo a lot. Gran Turismo 1 and 2. I think I skipped 2, but I did play Gran Turismo 3 on the PlayStation 2 as well. Yeah. I also played the original GTA 1 and 2 on the PlayStation 1. Then, of course, all the Tomb Raider titles, Resident Evil titles, Metal Gear Solid, and yeah, a lot of other games. Yeah, I can't remember. Tony Hawk, Pro Skater, probably as well. Yeah. There was also another cool game which was called Fighting Force on PlayStation. That was also fun. What else? Silent Hill. That was nice. I think I also played what was it? Nightmare Creatures. Something like that was yeah, what's in the title, Nightmare Creatures. What else? Yeah, a lot of titles, but I can't remember all the old games. I would have to see like a list and then I could recognize the titles. I can't remember. Yeah. Okay, that music sucks. Can we get some other atmospheric music, please? Let's go with space music. Oh, it's always good. Space music. Here, Cosmos. That looks good. Okay, so this one, options menu, fix options menu, resolution selection. There we go. Okay, fix incorrect selection in the resolution combo box of the options menu when the saved resolution does not match the active display resolution. Yeah. Okay. Okay, then we can also replicate this in okay. So this is replicate in generals MD. There we go. Good. Then let me also get a screenshot of the actual bug to have like a reference to it. So I guess we go to this branch, right? And then we compile that. then we enable some custom resolution here. Let's just punch in some numbers, 999, 666. Yeah, and then we click on here, and then we see this here. Yeah. So that's a bug that comes from this. Good. Can we get rid of the Linux compatibility macros? We should make the code more cross-platform through time by replacing non-portable stuff with portable stuff instead of using hacks. Macros are already abused in the source code as it is. We should by cleaning that up instead of adding it to unless strictly necessary, such as in the case of the retail compatibility macros. I don't know what it's referring to. If macros are necessary to compile things out for VC6 builds, and that's the way it is. Yeah, the macros are mainly there because we compiled against two different C++ versions. Yeah, one is very old, and so yeah, there's a diff, right? Good. Let's wait a few minutes here until this is done. And then we can maybe also already we can drop this change here. We have that. Yeah, okay. Good. Okay. Okay. Good. Then let me compile without debug. Yeah. Let me compile 0 hour again. Configure. Okay. Works in full screen. Okay, good. Then we can merge this one. Okay, prevent a custom display resolution from changing when making other changes in the options menu. Prevent a custom display from. Okay. Good. Then, next step. First we do remotes, fetch and prune all remotes. Need for Speed I also played on the PlayStation. Yeah. Colin McRae Rally. Yeah. Destruction Derby. And touring car. The touring car game. I don't remember what it was called. I did like racing games. Yeah. Okay. Let's rebase that. Hope that works. No, we have errors. Maybe we should. God damn. Don't save. No. Abort rebase. How about we just create a new branch? That would be easier. Yeah. Two. Cherry pick. Okay. There we go. Okay. Then I think we can. We can delete this branch here. We can rename this. And then we push this one. Do we have a bug report for this? Crash resolution. Ah, here we do. Oh, wow. Game crashes on full screen launch if game creation resolution is not supported by the graphics adapter. There are two ways this crash can happen. User sets an unsupported resolution option. Yeah. User hardware does not support the minimum default resolution the game sets. Wait, is that a thing? The hardware might not support this? Steps to reproduce open. Game will crash. To fix game should detect whether or not resolution is too low or too high and adjust resolution accordingly. Applicable in full screen mode only. Right, I think. User hardware does not support the minimum default resolution the game sets. 800 by 600. Was this ever the case? I think, if I remember correctly, I think there was such a case one time where someone had a computer where he could not set 800 by 600. It wouldn't work. But I can't remember for sure. Generally 800 by 600 works. So this must be some really odd edge case. Game crashes on full screen. Launch. Okay, so let's say the 800 by 600 is not supported, then what? Maybe we should... Maybe we should say that. 806. Yeah, which resolution is safe then? How about... Yeah. I think what we need to do is... Will this work? Here. I don't know if this work, if we can call this function even. Let me see what happens. Huh? There, that would be better, you know, if we could call this. But I don't know if this is available at this point. It might not be. So we would call it with 0. And we would basically pass this here and this here. Yeah, it probably won't work, right? I don't know. So we have int bit depth, int display mode count. If display mode count is larger than 0, larger equal 1, else I don't know why this is marked as blocker though. We don't have many issues marked as blocker, right? Label blocker 2. Game crashes on full screen launch if game resolution is not supported by the graphics adapter. On my machines, I never had this problem because my graphics adapters always supported 800 by 600. So I guess this would only be a problem if someone launched it on a machine that couldn't handle 800 by 600 to begin with, because that's the default it starts with, right? Okay, my expectation is that this here won't work. Yeah. Let's see. Okay, doesn't even hit. Okay. Ah, because it succeeds here. Right. Right. We need to set some illegal resolution here. Like let's put resolution 00. Yeah. That might fail. Okay, for some reason I don't hit any breakpoints here. Why not? What is this? Okay. Why is this not working? It's not compiling this file. I make changes to this file and it's not compiling. Let's rebuild the solution then. Okay, now it has installed this garbage. Fantastic. Okay, it refuses to put a breakpoint here. Why? Is this 0-hour code not going through this at all, or what happens here? I don't understand. I don't understand. I don't understand why it's not hitting the breakpoint. It should hit it. It doesn't. Okay. Let's put the breakpoint somewhere else. Game engine. Game engine update. That hits. Okay. So it somehow only doesn't hit this code. Why not? Why not? Let's put a breakpoint here in it. That has worked. We can't put breakpoints here. Oh, we were in generals. Oh my gosh. That's why. I had the one for generals open. Oh boy. Oh boy. Okay. Yeah, typical noob mistake. Yeah. Good. Bit depths. Good. Let's try this. Yeah. Oh boy. Okay. Okay, so attempt resolution is, I can't see it here, 0. So will this succeed? 0? 0 fails. Fantastic. Then I try 16, will also fail. Fantastic. Okay, now count 4. Ah, okay, so this function actually does work. That's good. That's very good. And now it should write here 800, 600. Very good. Very, very good. Okay. I do wonder if we should assert that the display count is larger than 0. Because does it make sense that this... It doesn't make sense that this would return... Actually, let me think about this. It shouldn't select the first one. I would say we do... Yeah, we can do this. And then we say here, we say if depth. Xres, Ys. Okay, let's do int xres, int Ys. Xres, Ys. Let me say if xres times Ys is smaller than 800 by 600, then xres equals 800, Ys equals 600. Select at least this resolution. And then we put xres, Ys. Xres, Ys. There we go. And bit depth we can also take here. Bit depth. Okay, this actually is wrong. Bit depths. Okay, how about we say bit depths? This is wrong here. I think we also need to initialize it with 800, 600 here. Maybe we should say const int default min width 800, default min height 600. Min yeah. Okay, so what this should do now is, so basically currently we start with 0, right? Our resolution is set to 0. Now our min xres is now 800, 600. We have 4 display mode counts right now. And it will take the first one from the list. That's the smallest one. Then we'll set that. And that will succeed. All right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think this makes sense. So that means if someone really doesn't have the 800 by 600 resolution available in his graphics adapter, then it will actually choose a larger resolution here and avoid crashing. Yeah, that sounds good to me. That sounds good. Okay, now it tries save default resolution if the previous one did not, if the custom resolution, the custom resolution did not succeed. This is unlikely to happen, but it's possible the user writes an unsupported resolution into the option preferences, or if the graphics adapter does not support 800 by 600. To begin with. Select at least this resolution. How about we say, I think that's still not great. It's still not great. I think this can be even better. Yeah. Yeah, I think we should say for display mode, for int display mode index equals 0. So display mode index smaller count plus plus index, and then we say if if larger equal this, then break. Good enough. Yeah. It's good enough. Use it. Now this makes me wonder. Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah, I think this works. So basically what it does is it gets the display mode counts that we have available. It iterates through all of them. And the first one that is equal or larger than the 800 by 600 in pixels, we take that, right? And then we write this and this. And then we set this bit depth 32. And then we're good to go. This should work, yeah. Let me test this one more time. Okay, so. This will give us 800 by 600, and that already is good enough. And so that takes that. Yeah. 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 I think that's the best implementation. I can't think of a better one. What we can still do is initialize this guy just for courtesy. Yeah. Okay. Then we should replicate this to generals. Okay. Improve logic. Good. Then we push that as well. Okay. Good. So this fixes that. This change fix crash when launching the game. Fix crash when launching the game with an unsupported display resolution. This change fixes this change prevents the game from crashing. Prevents the game from crashing when launching. By the way, let me confirm that it really defaults to 800 by 600, but I think it does. Let me search for this one. X resolution. Yeah, it initialized with 800 by 600. Yeah. This change prevents the game from crashing when launching the game with an unsupported display resolution, or when the graphics adapter does not support 800 by 600, which is the default, which is first start resolution for this game. This change prevents the game from crashing when launching. This change prevents the game from crashing when launching with an unsupported display resolution, or when the graphics adapter does not support 800 by 600, which is the first start resolution. Oh, the way it's written is too complicated. I need some water. Yeah, the way this is written is way too complicated. Okay, this change prevents the game from crashing. So far, so good. From crashing when launching. Prevents the game from crashing when launching with an unsupported display resolution. So far, so good. Or when the graphics adapter does not support 800 by 600. Does not support. I think we can just simplify it. We don't have to specify why this happens, but it just happened. Yeah. Okay. Does not support 800 by 600. We should clarify this because that is the default game creation resolution. Default game creation resolution. Yeah, okay. I think that works. So labels is blocker, because basically a user that has this graphics card that cannot spawn the game with 800 by 600 is unable to launch the game. in the original with a retail game, right? So he needs to open the options menu, type in resolution, and then like a bigger resolution than this, and then it would launch. But he wouldn't be able to launch it on its own as it ships, right? It would just crash. Yeah. So it's a blocker, crash, bug, a blocker, crash, bug, gen ZH. Fix crash when launching the game with an unsupported display resolution. Okay, so this is gen ZH. Fix crash when launching the game with an unsupported display resolution. Fix crash. Launching the game with wow. When the graphics adapter doesn't support 800 by 600. Fix crash when launching the game with an unsupported display resolution, or when the graphics adapter does not support 800 by 600. Okay. Okay, create pull request. Milestone is stability fixes. Okay, so that is that, and the next one is this one here. Okay, that would be a follow-up for this one. There we go. Follow-up for that. Fix incorrect selection in the resolution combo box of the options menu when the saved resolution does not match the active display resolution. So that is a... is it a major bug fix? Nah. It's a minor bug fix. Labels, bug, minor. Bug, minor. GUI. Oh. This change fixes the incorrect option, incorrect option selection. the resolution combo box of the options menu when the saved resolution does not match the active display resolution. Before this change. The title is a bit complicated. How about do you say fix incorrect resolution selection. Fix incorrect resolution selection. Fix incorrect default resolution selection. Fix incorrect default resolution selection in the options menu when the saved resolution does not match the active display resolution. Fix incorrect default resolution selection in the options menu when the saved resolution does not match when the saved resolution does not match the active display resolution. How about we say when the loaded resolution does not match the active display resolution. Default resolution things in the options menu. This change fixes the incorrect default resolution selections in the options menu when the loaded resolution does not match the active display resolution. My gosh, this is so complicated. Okay. Okay. Okay, cool. That works. We have our first blocker fix. Okay, cool. Then I think we can take a break here. Yeah. Good. What do we do next session? I already have something in mind. What is it? Let me find it. IP address. This one. Yeah. Which should be very easy. Yeah. Okay. Good. Then I will take a break here. Maybe I take one more look at if I should look at something here. We also need to look into this one. Yeah. Right mouse scroll doesn't work quite right. Okay. 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 Good. Then this one needs reviewing as well, please. This one also needs reviewing. Good. Then yeah, then I'll take a break here. I wish you a great day or night. Until next time. Goodbye.